All right, so I wanted to share a little story about what happened today. so, um, so last night I turned off all my bots. I've been running the profit trailer. Runs great, by the way. That's another video. But I saw the red coming, and I was like, I've been through this before. I was already in profit, so I locked everything up and decided I would just try to pick up the pieces and buy some of the blood in the streets today. So last night I was in my Bitshares account and I had locked up 20,000 bitUSD, and I was looking at it and I was ready to pull the trigger, and I realized that I'd never really done a big margin before and I wasn't really sure what I was doing, so I kind of wussed out and closed it. So then this morning I got up and my buddy Pook was like, "Hey man, did you lock your USD up?" And I said, "No, I didn't." And I thought about it, and I looked at the price, and Bitcoin had plummeted. This was right before it hit that 10K-ish, and it was right around 12 something, 12.5, and I was like, man, this has to be a bounce. Like, I just don't see it going that much deeper. So I said, you know what? Screw it. I locked it off. I came in here, and I locked it up. I tried to get it for 12.5, couldn't get it. And you can see that right there, it's at, I bought it at 13,018. Now, I was going to record all of this, but I didn't. So I took some screenshots as I was going, trying to figure this out. So you can see I locked it up. I started with 200,000 BitShares. And I ended up with 0.92 Bitcoin or whatever. Yep, right there. That's the thing I had. So I was like, okay, cool. Now, at the time, the DEX was very lagged, for lack of a better term. So after I had bought it, I started looking around, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I see this. And I see no bitUSD in my account. And I'm like, what's going on? How did 22,000 BitShares just vaporize? So, yeah, I pooped a little bit, jumped in Telegram, started posting stuff. Hey, does anybody know what's going on? Do you know what these numbers mean? People are like, did you get margin called? I said, I don't know. I locked it up at a 5.4 ratio, right? So the price had to go down to like 17 cents. So it didn't come close to 17 cents. So I'm looking, I'm like, man, I'm freaking out. You can see the collateral ratio there is 5.39, which is right around where I locked it up. And having never done this before, I was like, shit, what's going on? So on a whim, what's it? I don't know why there's a picture of that there. Oh, that's a picture showing the margin and where the sell was, and I was like, okay, but there's nothing about bitUSD, so I'm still confused. I don't know what's going on. So then I look at this, and I said, I took this picture, and I said, hey, does anybody know what is this actually representative of what's in my account? Because I still didn't get it. I'm looking, going, okay, so I'm 31,000 BitShares in USD debt, I guess, and it wasn't adding up. So still very confused. So then I, out of desperation, I reloaded the client, and then you can see right there. I was like, oh, that's a better number. So apparently, what was going on was the feed was just backed up and wasn't responding. All my transactions hadn't come in. So I was feeling a little better here. So then I had to sit there and figure out what I was going to do. I tried to close the position later here. So see, at one point it looked like I was up 7,000 BitShares. Now I don't know if I really was or not. Again, because of the way the DEX was so lagged, it probably wasn't a real number, but I liked it. So I said, I'm going to close that. And I kept getting this error. And I didn't know if this error was because the network was slow or what. Again, I went back and asked questions like a noob. Help me. And I was told that you had to actually have that the bitUSD in your account to be able to close it. I guess I thought what happened was that the DEX did that for you. Like you would say, I want to close the position, and it went on the market and purchased the USD that it needed. It doesn't work like that. You have to do it yourself. So I was like, okay, so I could have, once the BitShares got stronger, I could have sold some of my existing leftover BitShares and still ended up okay because the price had gone up. The only way I was really going to lose in this situation from the way I could see would be if both Bitcoin and Bitshares dropped in value, because if it was just Bitcoin went up and Bitshares even went down a little bit, I'd sell my position and it'd probably still be a wash, and vice versa. If the Bitcoin stayed the same but the Bitshares went up, I think I still would have been okay as well. But in any case, I was lucky. Bitcoin pumped a little bit, my position sold. I originally wanted to do it at 14.4, but I tightened up a little bit. I said, you know what, I didn't know where that crest was going to be, and I just knew I had to leave. So, unlike a bot, I can't set it and let it trail and get the most profit for me. So went ahead and did that, and here is the final result. So I did eventually end up closing everything, and ended up with 1,227 Bitshares, which I don't know, what is this? Yeah, so not terrible, right? I mean, worked out pretty good, I think. Where's that? Oh no, that's the final one. Here it is. Here's the final value. So dirty drawers, crazy morning, lots of coffee, and ended up with an extra $861. So not bad for a day's work, right? I learned a lot of lessons. I hope maybe this shows you a little bit about it. I'll probably go through a little more in-depth tutorial about like how this works. Now that I've done it and I see like the process from beginning to end, it makes a lot more sense. Really, all you're doing is you are borrowing on your own collateral. It's like an interest-free loan to yourself. So unlike margin with an exchange with a interest, there's no interest. You can just you're taking a risk no matter what. But in this case, again, I had an asset I didn't want to sell, and I collateralized it to a point where anything can happen. But I mean, Bitshares had already dropped 23%. And it was at like 44, 45. For it to get down to 17 from there would be like, absolute bloodshed. I'd probably have bigger problems than this account. But anyway, that's it, man. I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Maybe.